Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. So I'm going to teach you all the things like 4G architecture, 4G attached flow first. So we will cover the 4G attached flow. We will start from the UE. Here UE starts, UE send the attached request to eNode B through UE interface. After receiving the attached request, so eNode B will send that attached request to MME. So eNode B is nothing but the cell tower. So MME, what is MME? Mobility Management Equipment. The function of MME is to manage the mobility, like where the UE is, UE track, authentication, and it will also work as the routing. So it will perform the routing also. So when MME will get the attached request from the eNode B, then MME needs to authenticate that UE so that it will contact to HSS. So for request, MME will send to HSS AIR, authentication information request. So here, when MME send the authentication information request to HSS, then HSS will return the authentication information answer, in which HSS sends all the authentication vectors to MME so that MME could be perform the authentication of UE. After getting the authentication vectors from AIA, MME will send the AR request to eNode B. What is AR? So authentication request. In AR request, MME will send the value which is coming from HSS, like RES value. The authentication vectors are RAND, AUTN, RES, RESX. So here RESX value will be used. So MME will send that RESX value to eNode B through AR, so that eNode B calculate that value and using their IMI number and return back to a authentication answer. In authentication answer, it will send that value. After calculating correct value, will send. Then now MME will have MME having the value which is coming from HSS and the value which is coming from what eNode B. Then MME will check both of them, and if they got matched, MME will send the ME identity check request to EIR. So what is ME identity check? Here MME wants to check whether the IMI number, like whether, sorry guys, mistake. For MME will, after getting both the value equal, MME will send the NAS mode command request to eNode B. So here in NAS mode command, MME needs a IMSI number in that request. Then eNode B will return the IMSI number to MME. So IMSI, what is the SIM? The SIM, the value which is identified that SIM, uniquely identified that SIM. So MME now got the IMSI number. Then MME will send ME identity check request to EIR. It will send that IMSI number in that request to EIR so that it can check whether the IMSI number is blacklist, whitelist, or grey list. Suppose the number is whitelist, then EIR will send the ME identity check response. So here EIR will send the identity number, like it will whitelist, it is whitelisted. EIR will respond to MME. So after getting know that the IMSI number is whitelist, then MME will send the ULR request to HSS. So update location request to HSS to update the location of that UE into that database HSS. Then HSS will respond back ULA update location answer. So here in this process, the HSS will store the data of the UE in their database. Then after all these things, MME will send the create session request to SGW. So how MME will find the correct location of SGW? So for that only MME will send the MME will query GNDNS. So here MME will query DNS query to find out the correct location of the SGW. So after that only here MME will got both SGW and PGW location. As per that given location, MME will send create session request to CSR, create session request to SGW. Then SGW will forward that create session request to PGW. Then after PGW will get that CSR request, it will contact to PCRF. So what is PCRF? So I'm explaining what is SGW. SGW is the serving gateway, PGW is the PDN gateway. So SGW is nothing but it works as routing, it works as router. You know that gateway is there, so it's a gateway. It will pass any request. It will just a router, like a router, and it will forward that request to PGW, PDN gateway. So what is the work of PDN gateway? I will explain in another video, like all this functionality of all that nodes. So please see that video. Then PGW will send the credit control request to PCRF. So PCRF is policy and charging rule function, where the PCRF will identify which for which functions the UE is able to do function. So PCRF will detect all these things, like what should be the charge, what should be the data flow rate, what should be the calling rate, so speed, all that things PCRF will understand, so that it will query to credit control request, and as per that request it will find credit control answer. In that, PCRF will send all this information to PGW. After getting that information, PGW will send the same credit control request to OCS, online charging online charging subscription, so that here it will OCS also understand, like per day what are the GB the UE can you can like use, so what quantity of the network you can use per day, like in general case, when we all are using mobile, so in our mobile we are charging our mobiles, we are paying the balance for our mobile, so some limit are there, like 1.5 GB per day, 2 GB per day, so all that OCS will understand, and OCS will return that in CCA response. Then PGW will return all that information to STW in CCA execute session answer. Then STW will send all that information through CA secret session answer. After getting all of them, all the information and create session answer, so MME will send the initial context setup request, which is attach accept request. So here it will MME will tell to inode B for tunneling ID, inode B tunneling ID, and it will inode B will answer that inode B tunneling ID. Why? So MME will send that inode B tunneling ID to modify bearer request. So after getting modify bearer request, SGW in that request MME send the tunneling inode B tunneling ID, so that SGW can directly connect with inode B by this tunneling ID. So it will SGW will directly connect to inode B by this tunneling ID, so that user plane is like the data flow UE to inode B, SGW, PGW to direct internet, or internet to PGW, SGW to inode B to UE. So this is the data plane, and all of these are control plane, like signaling plane. They will handle the signaling part, but it will handle the data part. Thank you for watching this video, and if you understand all these things, and if you like this video, please like and subscribe and comment. Thank you.